Okay, let me increase the size so that it will be little clearer for you. Okay, now I have already created cluster peering, vServer peering, everything. Okay, I have a volume actually. Okay, I have a volume called vol1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a share on top of that particular volume, and I'll copy some data, and we'll see how we can back up that data to another Netapp cluster by using SnapVault. Like what is the procedure and what are the things you need to follow. Let me quickly create a CIFS share. Uh, Share one. I'm just creating it as path slash vol1. Okay. Now let me access the share. Okay. Let me copy some data. Uh, Meanwhile, we'll take a look at the like procedures. What are the steps we need to follow in order to create a snap vault? So first thing is you have to make sure that both the source and destination clusters are having snap vault license. See here, my source cluster is it has a snap vault license. Now I logged into my destination cluster and I'm checking the license. It must have the snap vault license installed. Okay, yeah. So both of my clusters they have snap vault license. So I can configure a snap vault between these two clusters. Next thing is the same way you need to create a cluster peering. Um, I have already created them. Cluster peering. Next, you need to create a vServer peering. I did that as well. Okay, vServer peering as well. Now the next step is you need to create a snapshot policy. Okay, you need to create a snapshot policy and apply that policy to the source volume. Okay, so volume snapshot policy. Yeah, volume snapshot policy. Generally, what you can do, uh, run snap mirror policy show, it has some default policies, right? You can use a XDP policy and XDP snap mirror type, or you can use a mirror and vault and XDP snap mirror type to create a normal snap vault. Okay, you can use any of these two to configure the snap vault. If you use XDP default policy, then it will be a normal snap vault. If you use mirror and vault, then that is a unified replication. Okay, but I don't want to use XDP default because XDP default has a different retention where I need different retentions. I want to maintain different backup retentions on a Snap Vault. So what I'm going to do, I want to, my plan is to create my own Snap Vault policy so that I can use it, and based on that, I can copy the data from source to destination. Okay, that is my plan. So what I'm going to do, okay, first I need to create a snapshot policy, not a snap mirror policy, snapshot policy. Okay, so volume snapshot policy, create policy name. I can keep whatever name I want. Let me put like snap policy one. Okay, enable true. Schedule. My first schedule is 5 minute schedule. Okay, and you know that, right? Count and all. Count one. I want to maintain like every 5 minute schedule snapshots. Like I want to maintain 10. Okay, and here we'll get another thing called snap mirror label. Okay, why do I need to mention a snap mirror label? Because with the help of snap mirror label only, I can utilize the schedule and retention in snap mirror policy. See, normally I cannot create a schedule, or I cannot mention a retention while creating the snap mirror policy. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to get the retention and the schedule from a snapshot policy only with the help of snap mirror label. Okay, you'll get to understand. Like, let's proceed now. I'll show you while creating the snap mirror policy. I'll tell you. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm just mentioning it as SV1. Okay, label text, another schedule, schedule 2. This time I'm using hourly schedule, and count 2. I'm using like maintain like 12, and snap mirror label 2. I'm just mentioning it as SV2. Okay, you can use whatever name you want. Okay, next schedule 3, daily, count 3. I want to maintain like 7, and snap mirror label 3, SV3. Okay, like that. Schedule 4, I'll maintain 4 schedules. You know, right? You can keep up to 5 schedules max. Monthly, count 4. Monthly, I want to maintain like 4 snapshots only, monthly snapshots, and snap mirror policy, snap mirror label 4, SV4. Okay, like this, I have created a snapshot policy along with snap mirror labels. Snap mirror label means nothing but it is just a name I'm keeping. Okay, now I have created a snapshot policy, and what do I need to do? I need to apply this snapshot policy to my source volume. So volume, modify. I've already created a volume, right? So I'm applying the policy to that volume. Snapshot policy. Here by default, earlier it was a default snapshot policy that was applicable, that was applied. Now I'm changing the snapshot policy. That's it. That's okay. You can ignore the warning. Now, whatever the warning it is saying is like whatever the snapshot that got created based on the old snapshot policy, they'll be not able to delete it automatically by the new snapshot policy. You need to delete them manually after retention got completed. That is what it is saying, the warning. Okay. Nothing. So far, we have created just a snapshot policy, but we have included snap mirror labels. That means we have linked a label to every schedule and every count. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, now I'll come to a destination cluster. Here, I'm going to create a snap mirror policy. Okay. Snap mirror policy show. If you see here, all these are default policies. I just want to create my own policy. So snap mirror policy create vserver name. I just want to create it entire cluster level. Policy name snap mirror or snap vault. I'll mention it as so snap vault policy one, something like that. Okay. Tries 8. I mean, tries means if it got failed to transfer the data from source to destination, how many times it has to try before marking the snap mirror relationship as faulty. Okay. So yeah, transfer priority normal. You know all these things, right? Ignore a time, blah blah blah. These things are actually not required. Let's leave everything to a default. Only thing is need to select the type actually. So in type we do have like a lot of things. One is vault, async mirror, mirror vault, a sync, like which kind of policy you guys are creating. Okay, here I'm creating a policy snap vault, right? I'm creating policy for snap vault, so I need to select vault. For example, if you are creating a snap mirror policy, a policy for snap mirror, then you need to mention async mirror. If you want to create a policy for synchronous snap mirror, you need to select either strict sync or sync mirror. Okay. Automated failover and continuous, those things are not required actually. Let's forget about them. Don't talk about them. Okay. Mirror and vault, you know that already. Mirror and vault is a thing which you need to use if you want to create a unified policy where you can maintain a snap mirror as well as snap vault between the same volumes. Okay. Blah blah blah. Remaining things, what I'll do, I'll keep it to default. Okay. Now I have just created a snap mirror policy. Now what do I need to do? I need to create rules inside the snap mirror policy. Okay. Snap mirror policy add rule, vserver name, policy name, snap vault policy. That is the policy that I have created, right? Now see here it is asking me for the snap mirror label. So I need to provide the snap mirror label here. Now it is just asking me for the keep. Keep means, so what it will do with the help of the snap mirror label, it will copy the snapshots from source to destination and it will maintain different retention of the snapshots on the destination end based on the keep that you mentioned here. For example, what is the schedule that linked with SV1 on our source? That is 5 minute schedule, right? So whatever the snapshots that got created according to 5 minute schedule on source, okay, those snapshots will be replicated to destination and will be maintained on the destination as well, but that will not follow the source retention. That will follow the retention of keep what we are mentioning here. For example, there I have mentioned only 10, I guess. Okay. Now here I'm mentioning like 50. You can maintain longer retention on Snapvault destination because that is the purpose, right? Okay. Preserve one, blah blah blah. Ignore that. Preserve and the warnings. These things are not required. Schedule also not applicable. Schedule, we don't use any schedule here, like because we are getting the schedule from a snap mirror label only, so we don't need to worry about schedule. Only thing is prefix. Like for example, if you want to maintain some specific name to all these snapshots, you can mention it here so that it will change the name of those snapshots after copying the data from source to destination. Normally, let's leave everything to default. Okay, like that. Let me create another rule like D5 SV2. SV2 is a hourly schedule, I guess. Yeah, hourly schedule. Like that. I'm creating another rule. 15 like that. 20. I think this is SV4 is the monthly schedule. Okay. So what it will do, my destination, my snap vault will be able to look into the snapshots on the source, which are which were created based on the snapshot schedule. I mean snapshot schedule on the source volume, and it will copy the snapshots also from source to destination with the help of snap mirror label, and it will maintain longer retentions on the destination. Okay. Now I'm done with the snap mirror policy. I have created a snap mirror policy as well. Snap mirror policy show. See, now I have created a snap mirror policy where, see, these are my labels. Okay. And these are my retentions. The total I'll maintain like 110 snapshots. And one more thing, guys, you can keep whatever number you want, but the total keep must be less than 1020, because in a single volume you can maintain up to that many snapshots, right? So it should not exceed more than that. Okay. Any questions so far, or do you want me to explain one more time?
No, no, Naveen. Like I will go through the video once again.
Okay, no problem. Let me explain quickly. Not a problem. Just let me tell you one thing. See, this is my wall one. Okay, and I have created a snapshot policy, right? Snap, you know already. Snapshot policy. How to create a snapshot policy? I have created a policy called snap policy one. So here I have mentioned like a schedule called 5-minute schedule, and I linked this with a snap mirror label SV1, and I created another schedule. I have mentioned another schedule, and I linked this with SV2 snap mirror label, like that. ID, and I linked it with SV3, and monthly I linked it with SV4. Okay, this is how I created a snapshot policy, and I applied the snapshot policy to this particular volume, right? And this is my source cluster, and I have a destination cluster here. This is my destination cluster, and I have a destination volume that created. This is a DP volume. This is a read rate volume, and this is a DP volume. Okay, now here what I'm doing is, let's assume that this volume name is SV underscore vol. Let's assume that I have created a volume, and here I'm creating a snap mirror policy. Snap mirror or snap vault policy. Whatever it is, command is same. Snap vault policy one. That is my snap vault policy name. Okay, here what I'm doing is, while creating the after creation of the snap vault policy, what do I need to do? I need to add rules. While adding the rule, it will ask me for the snap mirror label. So what I have done, I'm mentioning the snap mirror label, and I'm mentioning different retentions here. So see here, I have mentioned SV1. What it will do, it will go here. My destination volume will go here. What snap vault will do, snap vault will look for the label there in in the snapshot policy that applied to the source volume. Okay, this label here is linked with 5-minute schedule. So whatever the snapshots that got created according to that particular schedule, it will start copying them from source to destination whenever it runs the um, snap vault. Okay, it will keep them here. Okay, and it will maintain like 50 snapshot retention, whatever the snapshot that created with this particular schedule, like that. With the help of snap mirror label only, it can pick the snapshots and it can copy the snapshots from source to destination. Normally data will be also copied as part of this, but along with the data, according to the SnapMirror label, it will copy the snapshots also from source to destination. And here we can maintain longer retention of snapshots. For example, in snapshot policy, we mentioned like maintain only 10 snapshots. Okay. But here we can maintain a longer retention of 50 or more than that. You can maintain like 500 also. You can, it's up to you. Okay. So what is the advantage of SnapVault? For example, I lost some data here on the source volume. First, what we'll do, we'll look for the snapshots in the local volume. I don't find the data there because, for example, I have deleted the data like 4 months back. Now I want to get it back. But as I am maintaining very less retentions here, I don't have the data here. And next thing is I look for the data in the SnapMirror destination volume, and I couldn't find it here on the destination volume as well. So what I can do now, I can go to the SnapVault snapshots here on the destination volume, and as I am maintaining longer retention on the SnapVault destination volume, I'll be able to find the data on the one of the SnapVault snapshot. So what I can do, I can copy the data, I can restore the data from that particular snapshot to the destination, and from here I can restore it to the this volume. Or what I can do, I can directly restore it from here to here. That's up to you how you're going to do that. Okay. So that is the reason SnapVault is very useful to maintain longer retentions. If you want to take a backup of your volume to another cluster, another volume, then SnapVault is the best way to do that. Did you got it now? What is the purpose of the SnapVault and why we need the SnapMirror labels and all? Or still you are confused?
I am good from my end, Naveen.
Just go through the video, practice the things. Still, if you don't understand, yeah, I'll explain it one more time. Okay. Yeah. So I have already created a SnapMirror policy. Don't get confused. Like earlier in 7 mode, we do have a SnapMirror and SnapVault, but in C mode, we don't have a thing called SnapVault. It's just they are calling it SnapVault, but everything is SnapMirror only. How we can decide if it is a SnapMirror or SnapVault? That is again based on the type of the SnapMirror you are using and policy of the SnapMirror. Okay, I have already mentioned it when we discussed about a SnapMirror in initial class. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a volume here. Volume create SV underscore vol1. I'm creating a volume with this name. Aggregate name, v server, yeah, size 10 GB. Size of the destination volume must be greater than or equal to the source volume, right? Security type, junction path and all, you'll be not able to apply them. Only thing is type. Type is DP, volume type. That's it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a SnapMirror relation between them. SnapMirror create hyphen source cluster 1 hyphen source p server svm1 I think svm1 hyphen cluster 1. Yeah, svm1 underscore cluster 1. Hyphen source volume vol 1. Same thing. Destination cluster, destination v server, destination volume SV underscore vol1, right? Okay, next. We don't need a vserver. We don't need to mention that. Next, type. Type must be XDP, and policy. We need to mention the policy that we have created right now. Okay. Okay. Next, schedule. 5-minute schedule, so that it will copy the data and snapshots from source to destination every 5 minutes according to the schedule. Remaining things I'm not going to mention because we have already discussed about them. Sorry. Now I have created a SnapVault. Snap mirror. See, healthy true. That means we have configured it properly. Now let's initialize the snap mirror. SnapVault. Kill policy, we required them. Okay, that's it. See, it's initializing, it is performing the initial transfer and all, everything is same. And also, just like a snap mirror, SnapVault also will copy only incremental data changes from source to destination. See, it's completed. Now whatever the data you have on source, everything is on destination as well. And if you take a look at the snapshot show, vol1. So normally, SnapVault will not work based on the SnapMirror snapshot. Okay. Generally, SnapMirror requires a SnapMirror snapshot, right? But SnapVault, only for the baseline transfer, it will use the SnapMirror snapshot. That means it will create a snapshot with SnapMirror name. But once the baseline is completed, in the next schedule, what it is going to do, it is going to delete the SnapMirror snapshot, and it from that time onwards, it will use the latest local snapshot only to copy the data from source to destination. Actually, SnapVault will not rely on the SnapMirror snapshots. It will not create any separate snapshot. It will create separate snapshot only during the baseline transfer. But after that, it will delete the SnapMirror snapshots during the next transfer, next scheduled transfer, and it will use the latest snapshot available on source to copy the data from source to destination. Okay, let's see. It will run the SnapMirror transfer in a minute again. Let's see that. Because we mentioned 5-minute schedule, right? See, it copied something. Now let's take a look at the snapshot show command. See, I don't see that SnapMirror snapshot now. Okay. Okay. Now, if it creates another snapshot at 4:10, again it will copy the snapshot also along with the data from source to destination. It will use that snapshot to transfer the data from source to destination. Okay. Okay. Basically, it will transfer the data, and also it will transfer the snapshots from source to destination with the help of SnapMirror labels, and it will maintain longer retention on the destination according to the SnapMirror policy and its retentions that we configure. Okay. Any questions so far? If you are clear, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the data on the source, and I'll show you how to restore the data from destination to source.
Yeah. Okay, Navin. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. And meanwhile, let me see if I have CIFS so that I'll show you the data on the destination as well. Yeah. So let me quickly create a share. SV share one. Okay, I need to mount it, right? Volume mount SV. I'm creating the share. On 42. See, the same data I have on the destination as well. If I delete something on the source, for example, let me delete everything on the source. Okay, let's observe. Okay, now still, even if I have deleted the data on the source, still I have data on the destination, right? Now let's see what happened at 410. 410 again, it will run one more transfer, right, from source to destination. Let's observe that what will happen on the destination after the transfer got completed. Let's wait for 2 minutes. We'll see what it will do. It will delete the data on the destination as well. Okay, then how can we restore the data? That I'll show you. Okay, one more minute. Guys, if you don't understand, please ask me. Okay, please don't sit idle. Okay, now I think, see, see, I don't have any data on destination as well, because as I have deleted the data on the source during the next transfer, it deleted the data on the destination as well, right? Now, how can I recover the data? I can recover the data from snapshots that I have on the destination. For example, if I have snapshots on source, I can restore them from the source itself. What if normally here we deleted the data just a while ago normally, but in real time, if they have deleted data long back, now they want it, will not maintain longer retentions on the source, right? Snapshot retentions, because it will consume the space from the volume, which will impact the actual data store space, right? That's why normally what we can do, we can restore the data on the destination. Okay, and from there we can restore it back to source. Just a second. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, server CIFS share properties, add share name sv share one, show snapshot. So I'll be able to see the snapshots here. See, I'm able to see. So here I'm able to see the data, right? So what I can do, I can come to source cluster, snap mirror. See, now I'm running the command on source cluster, which is cluster one. So far, whatever the commands I ran them on destination cluster. There is a command called restore, snap mirror restore. What is the destination path? Destination path means our source path, which is source v server, actual source v server, and source volume. And what is the source path? Source path is svm1 cluster2 colon sv underscore vol1. Okay, and now it will give us a option called source snapshot. Here what we need to do, we need to pick one, the snapshot where we saw the data. Snapshot show sv underscore vol1. So I'm picking this snapshot. Okay, so what it will do, it will use the snapshot to restore the data. Whenever the snapshot that got created on the destination, my destination volume has the data, right? Like that. Okay. See, I got the data. This is how you can restore the data from a Snap Vault destination. And normally, if the data is there on the destination volume, you can restore it from there directly. You don't need to use a source snapshot option and all. But for example, you lost the data there. Then what you need to do? You need to go through the snapshots and find which snapshot has the data, and you need to use the source snapshot. This procedure we will do in case we lost everything. What if I lost only a single file? For example, I lost only this default.rdp file only. In that case, we cannot restore everything, right? That time, what you need to do? Simple. Just go to the destination uh, volume, access the snapshot, just copy it from here to here. That's it. Simple copy paste. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
No, Naveen.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And one more thing, like Snap Mirror, we can break it, we can resync it, we can use it, we can resume it, right? But when it comes to Snap Vault, we can't do that. Once you break the Snap Mirror, we are done. That's it. There is no resyncing. Again, you need to do it from the beginning. Okay, Snap Mirror. But when you don't want a Snap Vault, what you need to do? You need to stop it actually. Uh, think break, break will not let me try. Yeah, break will not work because this is a Snap Vault. Okay, so what you need is you need to delete it directly. There is no other to. We cannot bring the destination volume read write because this is not a DR, right? So yeah, you need to delete it. Like whenever you don't want a Snap Vault relation anymore, you have to delete it. That's it. There is no breaking, nothing will work. After that, you need to go to actual source volume, and you need to list destinations, and you need to release the Snapvault application. Snapvault source path. This is my source path. Destination path. This is my destination path. Someone unmuted. Any questions? Relationship ID. My relationship. That's it. Okay. Any questions on Snapvault? Snapvault is only for backing up the data. Like I have a very critical volume in one Netapp cluster. I just want to back it up to another Netapp cluster in a different location, so that if I lost something, some data, I can restore it from the destination. This is not a DR. This is a backup purpose. We can use this. Okay. Cool. Someone unmuted. Any question, or if you don't have any question, just mute yourself. Amar joined. Okay. We are done with the snap mirror. Now let's talk about multi-protocol share. Like, what is multi-protocol share? Like, what is the use case of that? Okay. I need to bring them on. Protocol share. Okay, multi-protocol share. So what is the multi-protocol share actually? For example, when we'll configure this multi-protocol share. For example, I have a volume called vol1, and normally this is a NTFS security style volume. Normally NTFS security style volume can be presented via CIFS protocol to Windows clients, right? Now, I got a requirement that this volume, my client wants to access the same volume from Unix as well, one of the Linux servers. He wants this particular volume to be accessed from both Windows server as well as Linux server. Then this multi-protocol will come into picture. Okay. So whenever a volume that must be accessed from both flavors of operating system via both the protocols, then what is the procedure? Which security style you will pick? Like, for example, I got a request. I want to access it from Windows side by using CIFS protocol, and Linux side by using NFS protocol. So what is the preferred security style you will use? Is it NTFS or is it Unix? So that is again based on, you need to discuss with them from which side they want to maintain the permissions. For example, if the majority of the users are accessing from Windows side and they want to maintain the permissions from a Windows perspective, then you need to select NTFS security style. Okay. Or if they want to if the majority of the users are accessing from Linux side and they want to manage the permissions and all from a Linux perspective, then you need to pick a unique security style. So today I'll show you both. Actually, the procedure is same. Let's jump in. Okay, I'll show you what are the things you need to do to maintain a multi-protocol volume. If you got that kind of request, then what you need to do, I'll show you. So let me create another volume create server name, volume name, multi NTFS. Okay, simply I put that name. I'm creating it on top of one of the aggregate. and the size 10 GB. And security style here I'm picking NTFS because I just want to maintain the permissions and everything from NTFS end. I mean Windows end via CIFS protocol. For NTFS volume, yeah, you cannot you know manage the permissions from Unix for multi-protocol chain. Okay, percentage snapshot 0. I don't want any snapshots, so snapshot policy to none. You know all these things, right? We have already discussed about all these things. Okay, and my volume junction path will be slash multi NTFS. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a share. Share name also I'm keeping the same. Okay, now let me try to access this share. Let me close this. We don't need another, the second one anyway. Let me close this cluster as well, second cluster. As we are done with the snap mirror, we don't need it anymore. Okay, multi NTFS. Okay, now I'm able to create the file folders. I'm able to do everything, right? Created a file, yeah. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a export policy, vserver export policy, create vserver name, policy name. I'm just creating policy. Okay, now I'm going to create a rule, vserver export policy rule, create vserver name, policy name, client match 192.168.0. I think 61 only. Linux server name is, just a second, daddy. Okay, I think it is 61 only. Do I have any Linux server here? I don't think so. I have CentOS. Let me see what is the, oh yeah, 61. Okay, any read write tool, any super user also. Let me select any tool index 1 protocol NFS3. You know all these things, right? We have already discussed about all these things. 65534. Okay, vserver export policy rule show. Let me check. Yeah, we have a default export policy, so no problem. Vserver NFS show. NFS is also configured, so no worries. Yeah. Now let me log into that Linux server and let's see if I'm able to mount it and access it. Okay. Oh, I have a Linux server as well. The IP address of this 62. Okay. Let me add another. Okay. Let me add another policy or server export policy. Add rule. Rule add client match, server name, policy name, role index 1, 192.168.0.62. Okay, vserver export policy rule show. So I have added 61 and 62 to this policy. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply this policy to my volume. Okay, now let me try to access this volume from this particular server. Okay, KDIR multi NTFS. I'm creating a folder with the same name. Let me try to mount it. Mount. I think 131 is the IP network interface show. Yeah, 131. Let me see. 192.168.0.131 colon slash multi NTFS to multi NTFS. Okay, now I have mounted it. So C multi NTFS. C permission denied. I'm not able to access the volume. See, I'm able to mount it, but I'm not able to access it because it is a NTFS security style volume. But my requirement is to get it accessed, get the access from get the access to the volume from both Windows side as well as Linux side. Now I'm able to access it from Windows side, but not able to access it in Linux side. So what do I need to do? This is where multi-protocol configuration will come into picture. So first thing is you need to collect some information from Linux team. The first thing is you need to collect the UID and GID of the user. Okay, you need to ask them like give. You need to ask them the Linux username and the user's UID and GID. Now I want to use the root user. Okay, so what I'm going to do, ID and root. I'm running this command on Linux, and here the UID is also 0 and GID is also 0. You need to get the details from here, UID and GID. Okay, this will this information will be provided to you by a Linux team. They'll give you the username and the UID, GID. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a local Unix user. Okay, vserver services Unix user show. If you see here, I do see already a user called root actually. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let me delete them. Let me delete him or let me change it. Or what I'm going to do, let me create a user, another user. Normally we don't disturb that root one. Okay, I want this particular, see, normally how multi-protocol will work is my volume. Okay, and this is my Windows server. And this is my Linux server, right? So what I'm going to do, and on Windows side, I have mapped it to, for example, a user called Naveen. Okay, in a domain, he has access to this volume because this is a NTFS security style volume. He'll be able to access it directly via CIFS protocol. Now I want to get it accessed from Linux server as well, but as this is a NTFS security style volume, my server, Linux server, will be not able to access it directly. So what do I need to do? I need to pick one local user from this Linux server. For example, let's assume that I have a user called NPUSULU, or let's assume that I have local user called Naveen here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to map this Naveen user to this Windows user, okay, so that whenever this particular server is trying to access the volume, okay, and as I have already mapped my Linux user Naveen to this particular Active Directory user, now this Naveen user from this Linux server will be able to access the volume with the help of this Windows user. Okay, here we'll do a configuration called user mapping. User mapping. User mapping. See, as part of user mapping, I'm going to map my Naveen user to, okay, demo slash Naveen. Already demo slash Naveen has access to this volume, right? So with the help of demo slash Naveen, my Naveen user from the Linux server also will get access to the volume. This is how the user mapping will work, so that the volume will be accessible from both the Linux as well as Unix. Okay, got it right? Now what I'm going to do, let me create a user here. Yeah, saying something, Anvesh?
No, no, I mean, it's like unfortunate is unmuted.
Okay, okay,
It's from my end. Yeah, sorry.
okay. I think I just provided access to administrator, and let me create a user here. Uh, you don't worry about this user creation and all, because we will not do it, right? Normally, I don't want to disturb the root configuration. That is the reason I'm creating another user, okay, on Linux end. Normally, these all things from the Unix will be provided by Unix or Linux team only, okay? Okay, just I have created a user called Naveen. That's it. Okay, and I added him to a group in the Linux called wheel. That is a default group actually. Everyone will be part of. Now what I'll do, I'll get the UID and GID of Naveen. And one more thing, I'll set a password for Naveen. Okay. Now, yeah, what is the UID? 1000, GID 10. So what I'll do, I'll log into my Netapp cluster. Okay, vServer services Unix user show. See, I don't have any Naveen here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Naveen user on my Netapp cluster. The server services Unix user create on vServer name. What is the username? Naveen. What is the ID? UID. ID means 1000, right? And what is the GID? 10. Here you can mention the full name. This belongs to Naveen. Skip validation and all not required. That's it. This is the way you can create a local user. Now, if you take a look at the Unix vServer services Unix user show, see it is showing a user called Naveen with this particular UID and GID. Now, what I'm going to do, vServer name mapping show. If you see here, I'm not able to see anything, empty. Now, I'm going to map this particular user called Naveen to my administrator. My administrator already has access to my share, right? vServer CIFS share show. If you take a look here, see, to multi NTFS share, my demo administrator has full access. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to map this Naveen user to this particular administrator user so that Naveen user from that particular Linux server will get access via this administrator. Okay. So vServer name mapping, create vServer name direction. So in which way you want to do mapping? Do you want to map a Windows to Unix user, Unix to Windows user? Here we are mapping a Unix user to Windows, right? So you need to select Unix to Windows. Okay, and position. This is the number you need to provide. Okay, you can already if you have one is already used, you have to use the another number like that. Okay, pattern. Pattern means here you need to mention your Unix username. Oh, I think uh, okay. Let me demo backslash back. Here you need to use two backslashes. That is how they designed it actually. Okay, that's it. Address and all not required actually. Okay, now see vServer name mapping show. See, already configured. Now what I'll do, okay, I'll switch my user from root to Naveen. Oh, sorry, Naveen. See, now I logged in as Naveen. If you see here, if you observe here, I logged in as Naveen here. Now, so let me try to access multi NTFS. See, I'm in now. And I'm able to see the new folder and new text document that created from Linux end. Let me try to create a folder here. NAV. See, I'm able to create a folder here. And let's see if you are able to see that folder from Windows end. See, I'm able to see it now. Like that. So in order to make a volume or anything Qtree accessible from both the Linux and Windows end, you have to configure the multi-protocol configuration. Okay, you have to do that. Without multi-protocol configuration, you'll be not able to access the volume from both the ends. It is not possible. Okay. Generally, better way is to do everything. Do if you want to now only my Unix user can access Windows stuff, but still my Windows user will be not able to access the data that got created by Unix user because I have mapping one side only. You got it right. For example, let me tell you, it is little complex, but not that. Okay, I have a volume. Now I did Unix to Windows mapping. Windows mapping. That means I have mapped my user Naveen to a demo administrator, right? Just giving a shortcut. Okay, demo admin. So whatever the files and folders created by demo admin, those will be accessible by Naveen. But whatever the folders and files that created by Naveen, they'll be not accessible to demo admin. If you want to do in that way also, what you need to do, you need to create another name mapping that should be from Windows to Unix end. And you need to mention map in this way, demo admin to Naveen like this. Okay, then both of them will be able to access both files. Got it? That is how it will work. Like again, that is based on how you are going to configure and all. Okay. Any questions on multi-protocol? But let me switch back to root actually. Now again, I'm switching back to root. From root, I'll be not able to access multi-protocol. I mean the share, because root is not mapped with the Windows user, right? That's why. Did you got it? Or for example, let me create another user. Krishna.
Yeah, Naveen.
No. I created a user.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Now I switch to Krishna. Now let me try to access it as a Krishna. See, I got permission denied. Now what I'll do, I'll quickly add the user on the Netapp. Let me get the UID GID of Krishna. See, 1001 and 10. This is not required actually. Full name. That's 10 is the same thing. 1001 and I'm 1001 Krishna. Okay. Now I'll create a mapping for Krishna as well. Name mapping. I'll map Krishna also to demo administrator. Krishna. Already one is there. That's why I need to use another position. Okay. Now vServer name mapping. Show. See, my Krishna is also mapped to that particular user, right? Now Krishna can access multi NTFS. See, he got access to it and he'll be able to see the data, right? Okay, any questions? You can write data to it. Cat or PI. Insert data like that. You can do whatever you want. See, I wrote some data right here from Unix data. Like, for example, let me write Windows data. I wrote this from Windows end. That's why Windows. Earlier, I wrote this from Unix end, the third line. That's why. Okay, now let's check if you are able to see that cat new text document. See, I'm able to see Windows data as well. Like, guys, please respond. Like, if you are clear or not clear. So yeah, if you are clear, then we'll proceed further. I'll show you how to provision Unix security style volume. That is a little different, but yeah, not that complex. Nothing. What you need to do, you need to gather the UID and GID of the Unix user, and you have to create that Unix user account locally in the Netapp, and after that you need to create a mapping, name mapping between the Unix user and Windows user. That's it. And normally for the same volume, you need to create a CIF share as well as export policy rule as well. Do you want to stop it, or shall we start the Unix as the other, I mean, Unix security style volume as well?
We'll continue it on tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Let's stop it for today. Just go through the video. We'll continue tomorrow. I'll show you that. After that, we'll start the ONTAP upgrade. Okay then. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, sure, Naman. Thank you.